who, in your mind, who's the starting other guard?
First of all, did you say Oubre Jr.? Come on, bro. It's Oubre Jr. Man, get it together. First of all, you got to get the names right.
Okay.
You get your names right for all these stats
Well,
you do?
first
You
of
can't
all,
get the names right?
Anthony wants the big. Everyone's got the big three. Anthony wants like the big 10.
five would do. Just give me a starting five.
What do you think? Like,
Okay. All right. Stop the shenanigans.
all of a sudden.
What's cracking, everyone? Welcome to the Matter of Stats podcast. It's your boy George, Kobe, Callie, the man of a million names, the Mike Buffer of the podcast game. That's right. And today we got a special guest joining us, platinum-selling hip-hop artist. You may have heard him alongside Eminem and 50 Cent in their hit song, You Don't Know. You may have heard him dropping bars alongside M50, Dr. Dre, and Jay-Z on Syllables. Or even you might have heard him on one of his, 200 albums on iTunes. You know, this guy's putting in work at all times. You know, he's probably got an album on the way. So representing Orange County by way of Chicago, Illinois, everyone welcome to the show, my boy Cashis, Ramon Johnson.
What up, though, man? What's poppin', y'all? What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming through to the show. We thought it would only be fitting. You know, we just came off of back-to-back games with the Chicago Bulls, straight out of your hometown, you know, so we thought we'd have you on to chat a little bit of Chicago Bulls, chat a little bit Lakers. You're a big Laker fan, you know, so we're going to get into all of that. So we appreciate you stopping by. Before we do anything, we're going to jump into some headlines. So, Anthony, why don't you take it away with the headlines for us?
Thank you, my good man. Yes, let's jump right into our sports headlines this week. So in the March Madness, the Final Four is upon us. But this is the first time since seeding began in 1979 that at least one number one team did not make the Elite Eight. So pretty crazy stat. In some baseball news, Billy, the Major League Baseball season has officially begun. We see that, yes. And for the first time this year, all 30 teams will play one another. So, interleague play, happened several years ago, but still there were a few teams that hadn't played. So this year, everyone gets to play everybody for the first time. So that's kind of cool. In some women's NCAA tournament news, this is kind of cool. Iowa's Caitlin Clark, she became the only woman or men's player in NCAA tournament history to record a 40-point triple-double.
Wow.
Damn,
she is if you haven't seen her play, she is a baller.
I did see her last game. Wow.
Yeah, she is legit. Also this week, it became official. Laker great Pau Gasol is a member of this year's basketball Hall of Fame class.
Shout out Pau.
Yes,
yep. Included in the class along with Pau, Dwayne Wade, Popovich, Coach Pop, Becky Hammon, Tony Parker, and Dirk. Also, some of the big names. So it's a pretty good class that's entering. And then in some wrestling news, SoFi Stadium, home of the Rams and Chargers, will host WrestleMania 39 this weekend, April 1st and 2nd. So I know the fellas are going to have a little something to say about that. And that's our headlines this week.
Billy, I know you're happy for WrestleMania. Oh, before we get into WrestleMania, though, shout out Pau, though. Shout out Pau, D-Wade, Dirk, all those guys, man, legends of the game, and well deserved. So
that's a great class right there. So congratulations to everybody.
For sure.
Yeah, and I know we're hyped. I got the weekend off, man. WrestleMania. I wanted to go to SoFi Stadium, but
for sure.
We're just watching it here on the network, trying to see Brock and Omos and. See these guys throw down. That weigh-in was kind of funny the other night, so I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, Brock and Omos, I'm iffy on that one. I think it's just going to be a couple of, slams and bumps and stuff. It's not going to be anything crazy, but, I mean, we'll see. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for, Reigns and Rhodes. That one should be good. Edge and Balor, that's a cage match. So that'll be fun. Usos and Owens is probably Usos, Owens, and Zayn with that Roman Reigns, that's probably been the best
Definitely.
storyline in a long time. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays out through WrestleMania. And hey, Logan Paul is going to come out against Rollins, so that should be a fun athletic match. A bunch of flips and stuff like that. That should be exciting as well. And we got father and son coming out too, right? They're going to fight each other.
Rey Mysterio and Dom, yeah.
And Ray, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. So
Yep.
yeah, this should be great.
I see you nodding over there, Cashis. You like a little wrestling or what?
Yeah, he looks like he's into it.
Yeah, I always like wrestling. Yeah, I always like wrestling. We watch WrestleManias, we watch SmackDowns and all that for sure.
Okay. Cool. Well, there it is.
Trying to get my Snoop Dogg talking on.
He's gonna show up. He's gonna be in there.
Snoop will be there probably.
Yep.
And
Snoop's gonna be there.
The last time, just real quick on a quick segue here, the last time Snoop was at SoFi, well, I shouldn't say last time, but was at the Super Bowl, I think 2 years ago. Him and Dre and 50 and everyone, they turned up. Wasn't it? Is that what? I don't know, man. That was one of the dopest ones I've ever seen. One of the top times I've ever seen.
Favorite one. That was my favorite one for sure.
So
they killed that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, we just wanted to know since you're from Chicago. We just got done with these 2 games against the Bulls. Thought it'd be fun to have you on. What was it like growing up, in an era of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls where they were, seemingly on top of the world at that time?
It felt great for the city of Chicago, for the whole city, both sides, all sides. It was crazy. Like, it was a lot of unity. Like Michael Jordan could have stopped any conflict or anything at that point. Like, it was crazy. Like, that was the most valuable thing that was going on. Everybody had some Bulls thing. Or even they would buy the stuff off the side of the expressway. Like, if they couldn't get to where everybody had that on, they would win every year. And it just made you have pride in the city, made you feel pride for your team. Because the Bulls, I remember being a kid and heartbroken with the Pistons whooping on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember those trying years, so growing up and seeing them take over was amazing for the whole city, for sure.
That's dope. Then obviously you make a move out to Cali, and then Billy, I know you were going to say ask your question. So
yeah, I mean, how did a kid growing up in Chicago become a Laker fan?
Once I moved to California, I moved to LA, and then I came to OC, and I was just watching Kobe, and to me, Kobe was like Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen people do things that Kobe did, like, for real. I've seen Kobe make some shots that just don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, just don't make sense. And he's fearless, like, he's fearless. And
yeah, that's for sure.
That made me just, I really turned into a Kobe fan, and he was so dedicated to the Lakers, it made me just like all the Lakers players, and then I just, became a Laker fan of my own.
Obviously we love the dedication because we're all dedicated to the Lakers. We've seen the good times and the bad times.
Right.
And, of course, you being from Chicago, a lot of great, iconic, players came from Chicago that made it to the NBA, including our very own Anthony Davis. Wanted to get your opinion of Anthony Davis and if you think him and LeBron could take this Laker team deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely do, because they just did and won the championship a couple of years ago. And this team is similar to that team as far as, AD and LeBron are the two-headed monster, and everybody else is, some really, really good role players that know their roles, and they have some depth. I think that this is the right time of them coming back from their health aspect. A lot of other players are getting injured, while the Lakers are coming back and getting their stride. The key players that were injured, besides Mo Bamba, of course. I think he will be. If he can come back in the first round, I think he can be a benefit, because we do need someone to help AD out. I think AD needs to shift back to the 4, and they will help things out a little bit more.
We touched on it. The Lakers, are in a good spot, playing better, obviously, as of late. Right now, they sit at 38-38, 8th in the Western Conference, 6-4 in their last 10. But they're tied in the loss column with the Timberwolves. But the Timberwolves are the 7th seed because they own the tiebreaker. But we're only one game back of Golden State for the 6th seed, and we own the tiebreaker over Golden State. So there's still, a lot of, congestion in the bottom of the Western Conference. Most recently, the Lakers 2-1 last few games since last week. Big win over the Thunder. Obviously, what we talked about, the tough loss to the Bulls at home, where like Billy said, the consistency. And I always like to say no sense of urgency, right? The Lakers seemingly came out with no sense of urgency in that game, and they just got outplayed.
Right.
But followed it up with a really nice win in Chicago, where they looked like a different team. Came out with a sense of urgency, focused. The offense ran through Anthony Davis. LeBron got his. That seemed like the script that we want to see moving forward, that this team is going to be most successful with. So 6 games left in the regular season. Tomorrow versus Minnesota on the road. That's obviously a huge one, because the winner of that game is going to own the 7th seed, essentially. They're going to take over the 7th seed in the West. And then they finish up the road trip at Houston, at Utah, at the Clippers, then the last 2 home games against Phoenix and Utah. So not the easiest schedule in the world, but a win there of those 6 games, there are some quality wins there. And the Lakers still have a legitimate shot of getting out of the play-in, in these final 6 games. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Your guys' thoughts?
I mean, I would be, remiss to not mention what Billy, and several other experts have been preaching all year long with this team, and that's the inconsistency portion, like you just mentioned earlier, Billy. We were at that game on Sunday, versus the Bulls, and it didn't look good as from an energy standpoint. We were pretty lackluster out there. My mother-in-law, who has never been to a Laker game or a basketball game in her life, was like, why is everyone just standing around like doing nothing, basically, so that's tough, man. Like we got to make sure that from night to night we're bringing it every night.
I think we're going 4-2 in the last 6. I think we can go 5-1 with beating either the Clippers or Phoenix, but I think we got to go 4-2.
4-2? Damn, you're optimistic, man.
No, but I think he's
right.
No, but I think he's right. He's saying
we better not lose to Houston again, and we better spank Utah twice. We better spank Utah twice.
We can't.
And we need to go ahead and give it to Minnesota. Like I feel like we can. They got 2 players that just came back from injury. And we got Bron back, and we look good against Chicago. Austin Reeves is a beast, so let him loose. Let Lonnie get some dunks. Don't run too many 3-guard lineups.
Too small. Too small.
I just want to make a quick point for you, Cashis. Like, this is a game for Davis against Minnesota. Against Cat, right? Going against Cat to make a statement like, I'm the man.
I remember when AD was one of being considered as a top big man. And now, like, you got Jokic, you got Embiid. Like, everybody, they put everybody before AD. And I think he definitely needs to prove. He got a lot of points to prove.
AD has a specific, he can dribble the ball up and he can do multiple things. He just needs to be able to hopefully stay on the court more.
Yep. And tomorrow night's game is going to be the key. Like we're going to find out, is this team legit? Like, are they really going to put their foot down and be like, okay, we're done messing around. We're going to take care of business. We're going to roll through these 6 games, and we're going to show the West, be afraid of us because we're coming. So tomorrow's going to tell us a lot. If they choke that game tomorrow, it's going to be like, here we go. They're just spinning their wheels. But if not, we might learn something.
I mean, D'Lo's got to make a statement too, right? Minnesota traded him. So it's like, hey, I want to show them what's up too. So
exactly.
Well, D'Lo was pretty unhappy though. He was pretty unhappy though in Minnesota. So I mean,
that's even more reason to stomp on his foot.
That's true. Billy, I'm so glad you brought up D'Lo, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys was, since we acquired D'Lo, it's been pretty good. Lakers have been good. Obviously, a much better team, above 500 team with D'Lo.
Right.
But he has missed some key games with some nagging injuries since we've got him. So does that cause concern for you guys or make you think twice about re-signing him as the point guard moving forward?
Cashis, what do you think? Let you go first.
Not to me, because they seem like everybody misses games anyway. I don't think he's missing it for fun. As long as he can give us 70 to 71 out of 82 games, I think that's fair for him. Whatever little injury he might get. It's just like, who else can we get? We can get Kyrie, and I like Kyrie as a player, but will he mess with everybody else on there?
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's like we have to, at some point, we have to have some continuity, I believe. What I think made the Lakers so great after Shaq left, after we went through that horrible patch, is no matter what it was after that, they kept, obviously, go keep Kobe, and you kept Fish, and then you got Powell, and then they switched out a couple of other pieces, but you always had a couple of a three-piece core that always, you had your quarterback, which was Fish, you had the greatest, which was Kobe, and then you have Powell, which when he was with the Lakers, man, he was definitely one of the top big men in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, once you have that, you can put all the other pieces around it and keep going. I like buying them too. I think that the Lakers right now, we just keep the team we have now, even if we don't, as long as we make some sort of run in the playoffs, keep the team we have now and push forward, because that's what the other teams have that we don't have, is they have continuity. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Lakers chase force, they want 3 stars so much. You don't have to have that. You need to just have one really great player, another star, and some really, really good players that can be role players and that care about the culture. They care about the Lakers on the front, not just the name on their back. They care about what's on the front of their jersey and want to be a Laker. I think that's what they need.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I would like to, keep D'Lo long term. I don't really want to make a mountain out of a mole here with the injury. I mean, he had one was a freak injury where he accidentally stepped back on someone's ankle, and obviously he's been dealing with the hip thing. But like Cash has said, like, guys are gonna miss games, but he doesn't have an injury history really,
right?
Right. He doesn't have any off-court drama. And I think so far in the few games that he's been here with the Lakers, the team has pretty much accepted him. He feels like he fits. So I don't see why we can't move forward with that. And with everything that's happened in Dallas since the trade deadline, that's crazy. I think, they were like in 4th, and now they're all the way almost out of the playoffs, out of the play-in. They're like in 11th or 12th. So, I mean, you got it. You can't not look at that, so that'll be key. And I like D'Lo. I think like I said, I think we lost a lot of young talent in the early days of LeBron, and now it's nice to get back a guy like D'Lo, a mature D'Lo that is hitting the 3, is being that modern NBA point guard. So I think we move forward with D'Lo. That's my opinion. What do you think, Billy?
I do like what he brings. I like his shooting. I like his passing skills. He handles the ball well. As far as the injury goes, like you said, Cashis, injury is part of the game. It's going to happen, and it's not always up to the players. Sometimes the medical staff wants to sit them out or whatnot. So I wouldn't mind having D'Lo going forward.
So that's 3. That's 3 that all want D'Lo. Anthony, how do you feel?
This should be good.
Look, I agree with everything you're saying, and Cash has made a great point. 4 or 5 years ago, the model was if you wanted to win, you had to have 3 stars, right? The Heat, the War, like they all were carving it out. It was your only chance. If you were going to beat Miami, if you were going to beat the Cavs, if you were going to beat the Warriors, you had to have 3 stars. But that's not the model anymore. However, I'm still a little skeptical on D'Lo, not as much totally on the injuries, but I gotta see it to believe it. He's Kobe's right. He's a matured version. Clearly, he's a better version.
Right.
He's got a second chance now, which, in his own words, right, he's grateful of. He wants to prove that he can be the guy long-term here.
Right.
So, like you said, so that maybe he does care about what's on the front of the jersey, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
But I still got to see it to believe it. I got to see, can he really be a leader? Can he really be a legitimate starting point guard? Obviously he's not the talent like Kyrie. So if
Right.
you could get a guy like Kyrie, you'd have to entertain him. But Billy's right. There's a lot of variables that come with Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see it to believe it. So I'm
Well,
not against it. I'm not against it, but I'm not 100% all in. So
you've had how much time to see him play with this team? I mean, you're not going to get a lot of, eye test with the amount of time he's been with the Lakers. So how are you going to?
You show me in the playoffs, right? That's where I'll be impressed. Like, show me in the playoffs. You're going to raise your game. You're going to make the big shots. So
Speaking of the playoffs,
Speaking of the playoffs, love the segues. Love it. So we talked about this earlier. There's 6 games left in the regular season.
Right.
What is your confidence level that this team will actually make it into the playoffs? So 1 through 8, like either avoid the play-in tournament or win a play-in game and get into the playoffs. So 5 being highest, 1 being the lowest. What would you give your confidence level at?
Okay. My confidence level is probably 2.5 to 3. Like I said, the consistency level. We're just not. Yeah.
Hey, Billy just makes up his own rules.
Hey, no. Vegas does halves all the time when you're betting.
This
isn't
Vegas. So this is a simple exercise.
It's not a simple exercise. All right, fine. 3, even 3. I just don't see the consistency in this team, as I've been saying for a long time. If we can get more consistent and beat the teams that we should beat and step up to the teams that we need to step up to, then yes. But I just haven't seen it all year. So that's my answer. 3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Billy Boy. I say it 3 as well. I'm like 50-50. I guess that's the best 50-50 answer. Shout out Curtis Jackson, 50-50. Anthony don't know about that.
That's right. 50? 50 my cousin. What are you talking about?
50 my cousin. Yeah, throwback. But yeah, I agree, Billy. The inconsistency is what is kind of making me feel like I want to proceed with caution a little bit. Like Anthony says, I got to see it to believe it. And, like we said, we had basically 2 games versus Chicago. 1 game we came out super flat. 1 game we came out with purpose and won. So it's like it's a toss-up, so...
I am slightly more optimistic than you guys. I'm going to go a 4 simply because in the, with everybody healthy, minus Bamba, but with the big, the quote unquote big 3 with D'Lo, with LeBron and AD, they've played 4 games together and there were 4-0 in those 4 games. I know it's a small sample size, but I think if we use the script that we saw the other night in Chicago and we're healthy, the West, nobody's running away with it. So I think that we legitimately could make a run and at least get to the Western Conference Final.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, all the texts I've seen, okay.
Well, it could change tomorrow night. We'll see.
Wow. Yeah, we know you. You can change in like 5 seconds. So.
Like I said earlier, tomorrow's going to tell us everything we need to know about this team.
All right. Bueno.
Wow.
Cashis.
Conference Final. Let's see. If everybody's healthy, I'm gonna go a 5.
A 5.
Ooh.
I don't see. Okay. I think it's a guarantee if everybody's healthy, because even if we get in a play-in, I believe we can beat the people that's ahead of us to get an 8th seed. And after that, the first round would determine. Like, who would it be if we
be Denver?
Oh yeah, we'll get them. If AD play like AD and
see, no one's scared about Denver.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get them.
The only thing in the bubble that we had was Dwight Howard, who really bothered the heck out of Jokic, right? So
yeah,
I mean, we don't really have another guy to defend Joker like we did in the bubble. So that's what kind of questions.
I'm just going to throw this out there because I hear this brought up quite a bit about the whole LeBron and AD pairing winning a ring. But I mean, if you think about it, we haven't won we didn't win a ring before or after Danny Green. So I mean, LeBron was here before Danny Green. AD and LeBron been here after Danny Green. The only season they won was the season
all
with
Danny Green.
I'm just saying we struggled since then. So hot take, man, coming your way.
Danny Green, hot take.
What about Jesus?
Well, what do you want to say? We didn't win. Jared Dudley left and we haven't won. Jason Kidd left and we haven't won. You want to go down the list?
Hey, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a combination. But I'm just saying, Snoop was on Danny Green's head for a second there. But, he came through on that last game. He had a tough game, but he bounced back. So, it is what it is. But
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But hey, Cashis, we appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna come here and chop it up for the finals.
Awesome, Matt. Appreciate that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We're happy to have you, and we're excited to see what you're going to drop soon. So we're all looking forward to it.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
There it is, Cashis, and we'll put all the links in the show notes so everyone knows where to find you, knows where to find us. With that being said, Anthony, close us out.
Yeah, thanks to Cashis and everybody else who likes to follow us. Check out the Matter of Stats podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Check out our YouTube page. And as always, prop it up, Billy. We appreciate you guys. Cashis, we appreciate you coming on. And we'll see you guys next week.
I appreciate it.
Peace.